Welcome to Hoodoo TV, everyone. It is me. I am back. It is Hoosier, and it is a new comic book eve. Tomorrow is March 6th with some new comic books coming out. How's everybody doing? I just hope everybody's doing well. Sorry, it's been a little bit off. I had a couple interviews recently. We had Brian Shermer on with Lady... God, why am I brain farting? Fair Lady. And then we also had Paposi on with Chris and with Jorge with Spencer and Locke #2. So it's been some good things coming out lately with some interviews, and hopefully be getting some more coming soon. So make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Emerald City Comic Con's coming around the corner, and hopefully be getting some good interviews, some good stuff, have some live stuff there. Gonna be meeting with Josh with Get Valiant while we're there. Should be a good time all the way around, so make sure you're subscribing. And also, if you guys get any value from this, make sure you check out Patreon. Have past live shows. We'll have some surveys up there. The more it goes, the more we're getting going. And just thanks to everybody who is already on Patreon. Some awesome people there. Thank you guys very much for the support, helping me get this thing going so we can kind of see what continues to happen. So, in the news, what's in the news this week? In the news, really, you know, Luke Perry passed away. So, sad things about Luke Perry. 90210. I personally liked him in the pictation of Lane Frost in the movie 8 Seconds. But, you know, he was good. Riverdale is the big comic tie-in there. So, sad for that. And then anything else in the news? Off the top of my head, there is Dan Didio talking about lowering DC's comic output. Just saying that there's not enough market to have as much as they're putting out. And I don't quite disagree with it, but Marvel's just going to try to take in that plate piece and throw out a whole bunch of books, which they have been doing. And it works for them. They've got a big market share, so that's going to be that. Make sure you guys are telling me what you're reading in the comments. I want to know what you guys are reading. I know, you know, we always get Danny on here. He's on here all the time. But whatever you guys are reading, put that in the comments below on the side. I want to know what's going on, what you guys are reading, and let's chat about what is up. So, just to get things started today, I'm going to do Trade Wait No More. And to me, this is really the book that started Trade Wait No More, that started my trade waiting, and that would be The Walking Dead. Robert Kirkman's The Walking Dead is really what got me started doing trade waits. Just with the way The Walking Dead's coming out, as many as they're coming out. So this is volume 31, The Rotten Core. I have been falling behind with the comic. However, in the comic, Rick is still alive, still in the forefront, unlike the show. And he is taking the new governor around, showing him the affiliations of Alexander. And there's some things going wrong. Just like always, it's The Walking Dead. You know, nothing can be good for a while. It's got to have some stuff go on. That's kind of the deal. That's kind of the way it works. One of the books that I've always enjoyed, Jared got me onto this book, and this is Curse Words. This is Charles Soule, and he continues to impress with this book. This fantasy with Wizard and where everything goes within this book is continuing to be great. Wizard's enemies that he's caught up in the world, in Earth, are starting to catch up to him. And he's starting to have to pay for some of, you know, his prior sins, per se, of some of the things that have happened. So, Curse Words Volume 4. So it's quietly becoming a good ongoing that's been around for a while, getting a little bit of a good following. If you haven't got into it, we did do a review of the very first trade. So check out Curse Words Volume 1, the trade review, and then check out some more of those volumes. A book, a little bit stepping ahead, a book that I'm excited for. We did the Image Expo last year, and that was The Last Siege with Landry Q. Walker and Justin Greenwood. It's described as a spaghetti western. It's like Lord of the Rings meets a spaghetti western. A really cool tale about you know, people trying to take over the castles and trying to, you know, go with that route. There's a stranger who's this guy in the middle that you see in the picture there, and a really fun book with some great art, some action, And I impressed with that each time I have read it. And the full trade's coming out, 8-issue trade. So this is basically 2 story arcs, the whole complete story in one trade paperback. I recommend taking a look at that, coming out this week. One that continues to impress, and it's, Eisner Award Best New Series a year ago, Black Hammer, and it is ongoing, and it's got multiple pieces. This is Black Hammer 45, talking about a Black Hammer Air Force group that gets kind of stuck, and what do they call them? I'm sorry, the squadron, and they're going to face the Axis powers. So it's been pretty good all the way around. I love what Jeff Lemire's doing. This brings in some great creators with Lemire, with Ray Fox and Matt Kent and Charlene Kemp. So fun project that they all got going there. Black Hammer, it's one of those ones you kind of don't want to be missing, because everybody seems to be speaking about this in the comic industry as one of the best ongoing series, packages, universes out. I believe I remember hearing that it's been optioned, I believe by Legendary. I'm not sure if it was Legendary, but I do believe it has been optioned for both film and for TV. So one that probably going to hear about for a long time to come. Valiant writer Vita Ayala has a new book coming out, and Vita Ayala is Prisoner X, Marvel. So this is about a prison, a top secure prison for mutants, and this mutant prison everybody's against everybody. They don't really like each other, and then they say a new man comes into town and kind of throws things away, and it kind of makes everybody kind of gather up on one side. Not really sure the premise, if they're all against him or they're all for him. He rallies everybody. I'm not sure, but it's Luca Bishop is the prisoner's name, and so kind of see this X-Men mutant prison. These mutants that just don't go with the way the mutants normally would like, so it changes that up. A fun book right here is Astro Hustle. If this doesn't make you think of some Atari game just by looking at that A cover and then a little, just action fun, it looks like it's a crossover, sci-fi, 70s disco. So it's all about a gentleman who basically gets frozen. He gets, what do they call it? A Cairo frozen. And 60 years he comes back, and he figures out his brother's now the king of the planets. And he does what he knows best, causes a muck, steals, goes crazy. And it just seems like a sci-fi, Saturday Night Fever, sci-fi fun story. So that one is a fun book that looks like it'd be fun altogether. And this is another one that looks good. This is by Boom Studios. This is Ronan Island by Greg Pak. And I love Greg Pak's work, continue to love Greg Pak's work. And this is set in 19th century Japan, Korea, China. All of those lands, their major cities get wiped out. And some of the survivors find a hidden island to kind of create their own civilization. Until that island's found, and these young group of people are set to basically defend themselves to go against this new villain, this new predator that's coming upon them, new enemy. But a Greg Pak story, so it's one that's worth signing up for. Next, this one is fun. It is The $6 Million Man. It's an old 70s TV show about an astronaut who basically ends up becoming a bionic man. He gets all kinds of special parts. He ends up being a $6 million man due to all of his parts, his laser eye, his guns, his everything. And all around a fun story. It was a great show for many years in the 70s, and this is Steve Austin is the guy's name, and this is written by Christopher Hastings. Dynamite's producing this book, and if you remember the show, if you liked the show, a lot of people loved it. And again, this is set in the 70s, so let's see what Steve Austin has to do. I want to see what this is. It was a fun sci-fi 70s show back in the day about a cyborg astronaut, so all the way around there. Let's get into one of my favorite books. It is one of my favorite books by far, and that is Rick Morender's and Wes Craig's Deadly Class. it continues on a great path that the story's been going on. This is issue number 37, where Saya is in Tokyo, and she is trying to get out of the clutches of her brother. So Saya has been a fantastic character in this book from the very beginning. She's one of the core, and awesome. And the dictation they have on her on the TV show that produces every Wednesday, comes out every Wednesday, has been phenomenal. Right now, Amazon has the whole first series for $9.99. So if you don't have Sci-Fi Network or whatever streaming network, you can just pay $9.99, get the whole season, all 10 episodes. And it's worth kind of giving that out. So maybe they can do more of this stuff. The more you support things like this, the more you're going to get things like this. A lot of people, like myself, love the comic book industry and kind of love where they're going. So it's kind of where we're at there. And so we got some stuff going on in the chat. The Moose is on the chat, man. Thanks for joining, Moose. And then we got Discovery Bay Comics is here. How you doing, Discovery Bay? Appreciate you guys jumping on. Comics Girl, Ava, how you doing? Good to see you. Danny Millhouse, good to see you, man. Very nice. Happy to have you on here. So, some good things. Danny puts out his pull list. So Danny's got the Green Arrow number 50, the Green Lantern number 5, the Walking Dead 189. Had that earlier. I'm saying I'm trade waiting. Actually, in Baby Teeth. I forgot to put on Baby Teeth for number 15. Paper Girls 26 continues. I don't know how much longer Paper Girls has, but that's a good call out. Brian K. Vaughan. I want to see what he ends up continuing to do, especially with like the last final of Saga coming around the corner. So good stuff. Everybody, thank you for jumping on right now. I appreciate that. Let's go from there. This is one that Danny has out, and I also have. This is Die number 4 with Gillian Haynes and Cowles. A cool story about an RPG group of friends that back in the 90s, they get sucked into this RPG game, and they kind of go lost for 2 years. Then we fast forward to present day, 2018, 2019, and they're adults now. And it is a phenomenal story about what this Die game had for them, what's coming back for them. I remember recently hearing that there is going to be, by Kieran Gillen said this, that there is going to be a RPG game that comes out with the trade. He said he wanted to produce it at first, when the first issue came out, but it would be way too many spoilers for it. But if you love this, just that's kind of cool. There's going to be a designed RPG game strictly around this book, Die. Continued fantasy story that's been phenomenal. I think they say the first issue is on its 4th or 5th printing. So if you haven't got into this seems like it's one that you should. If you can get issue number 1, you probably want to put that aside. When a book goes to the 5th printing, that might mean that it might be of value somewhere down the line. So all around, pretty solid book. One of my favorite call outs. That and Middle West is my other one. That's another one that just got its 4th printing too. So everyone there. Stacy's Liquid Comic Book Picks. Thanks for jumping on, Stacy's. Yeah, and so what are you guys reading? I want to know in the chat what everybody else is reading. I know a lot of the best picks come from you guys, and there's been some great books, and I'm excited for all that's coming. Looks like Chris says he's really looking forward to this new Black Hammer book with Kent. I agree. It's a solid story that they got going on, and a solid world that is very concise. It's very tight, and Lemire's handling it very well. He has said he's not going to do another owned property besides his own going forward. Kent's basically said he is doing EXO, but that we know that's coming to an end. So EXO is coming on for the end. Moose puts on, he's waiting for Emerald City Comic Con. I agree. Emerald City Comic Con is just around the corner, man. Next Thursday, we got Emerald City Comic Con. It's always a fantastic show. It's I've heard other people say it, that it's one of the last great comic cons, not pop culture con, not movie con, not TV show con. It really focused around the comics. And the group that runs Emerald City, that Reed Pop took over, but that was one of their one of their core directions is they wanted to make sure it stayed that way, and it's continued to be fantastic. So Discovery Bay Comics writes, he's got Punchline, Die, Prodigy, Murder Falcon. Yes, that is a great book. I just dig Daniel Warren Johnson's art. I could tell by this story, his sense of humor, everything is just spot on. It's great. He's awesome. And the Discovery Bay comic pulls out Sword Daughter. Sword Daughter's a great Brian Wood story. I love it, and I just saw that the pre-orders are coming out for next month to get the hardcover for that, and that's something I'm going to do with that book, is be getting that. And then one of the best Marvel books out right now, I think it's one of the better books out, period, right now, Immortal Hulk. I love where the direction they're taking Immortal Hulk, so good call out there. Venom, Batman, you can't go wrong with those guys. Venom and Batman, solid. Then we got Stacy's Weekly Comic Bulls, has Justice League, Amazing Spider-Man, Middle West, Batman Who Laughs, continued. I don't know if anybody's reading Young Justice. That's a DC call out I didn't pull out, but that's number 3, Brian Michael Bendis, kind of seeing where he's going with his kind of like guys help me out here, the DC, what's he's calling his little DC set, but it's been a good one. Girl Comics Aya puts out there, I've been catching up with Gideon Falls. Yes, Gideon Falls, Lemire. If you guys know me, huge Lemire fan, and Gideon Falls is great. I can't wait till more comes out and we see what Hive Mind has to do with this potential TV show that Dinesh Samchandani is going to be part of, and where they go with that. So yes, thank you for calling out that. Also picking up Die, Amazing Spider-Man, Uncanny X-Men, Oblivion Song, another Kirkman, man. Continues to do well. And who's kept up on Die, Die, Die? The way they're releasing it's kind of weird. You don't know it's not on previews, and it's just coming out. So again, good reason why you have a good comic book retailer that knows you and knows what you want and puts that in your pull list, and you can come and get a surprise. I know that's why Lemire Kirkman said he was doing that, because he likes getting those surprises when he goes into the comic shops and keeps going from there. So yeah, that's a great one. What else we got? Jinx, Chris, and Knights of the Golden Sun. Yeah, I think this week has got a fantastic core books, kind of going through more. But yeah, I love what's coming out this week. No Valiant books. I know we cover a lot of Valiant. And then another one that I didn't pull on there that I do want to call out, because it is a fantastic story. And of course, it's Garth Ennis. It's a Walk Through Hell number 8. I dig anything Garth writes. It's going great. So yeah, anything Garth writes is going great. And I actually just got the Sarah book in from TKO. So I've had the Joshua Dysart book, Goodnight Paradise. Now I'm getting Sarah, getting into that. So gonna get my nose into that this week. And try to get some pre-reading done for Emerald City. So some of these interviews, if you guys want to go on, see who's that Emerald City. If there's somebody you kind of want some questions, you want somebody to want me to ask, we can definitely be doing that. I love doing that. I love getting up with people and asking questions that you guys maybe want to have asked. It's always fun to kind of just go right there and see what else is out there. I'm going to pull up guest real quick, kind of see who's on there, see who I'm hoping to meet. There's some, I think there's a Valiant panel Thursday. I actually will have some stuff, I believe, to give away. I'll try to. If you get me early enough and I have it, make sure you stop me there. I'll be hanging out with the Moose, and I'll be hanging out with Josh from the Get Valiant. Be at the Valiant booth, be around. So make sure you stop me, because if you get me early enough, I'll have something for you there, and kind of go from there. David Barron's got his new cover, his new Life and Death of Toyo Harada, and I'm hoping to pick up that poster while I'm there. That's pretty solid. He's done a great job. David is a longtime colorist, the writer of Stained. He'll be there. We always touch base with David while we're there. Donnie Cates going to be there as well. So it's always fun to meet Donnie. Chip Zdarsky, Sexual Criminals, Spectacular Spider-Man. Christopher Sabella, he's always in and out of Emerald City. So we get quite a bit of great characters. Characters, I call them characters, but the creators. Yeah, friend Daniel Barnes, he's writing the Black Manga with Oni Press. He'll be there. I'll be running into him. Yeah, and Wes Craig is a guy I'm really excited for, to get him with my my Deadly Class hardcovers and my first issues. Probably get some CGC there. James Asmus, Quantum and Woody writer, continues to be great. Jen Bartel, amazing artist. Jeremy Hahn with The Realm, we've had him on the show. Jim Mahfood, he's always fun. Jody Hauser. Yeah, there's going to be some great creators coming on. If there's Ken Lashley, he did the last arc of Bloodshot Rising Spirit. Who else we got? Marguerite Bennett. Oh man, she continues to do well with a lot of her stories. I mean, Batman, DC Bombshells, but mainly Animosity is kind of where I'm looking at with her. Let me see. Keep going. Matt Rosenberg. I'm excited for his new book. I can't wait till it comes out. It's Where's the Furthest Place from Home? It's been a while, and maybe I'll ask him that question. Where is that supposed to be? That was kind of one of his follow-ups from Four Kids Walked Into a Bank, as far as more of his creator-owned image book. Continue with that. So yeah, plenty of people. Let me know who you guys want to talk. If there's somebody you want on there you are curious about, definitely. Chris, possible new Valiant news at that panel. Really, with Donnie? I hope so. The Bald Moose. Yep, that Bald Moose dude. Yeah, that guy. I don't know. I didn't see anything that Vita was supposed to be there. If she's there, that's great. If Vita is there, that would be great if they are there. Oh yeah, the Vita is put on there. I didn't notice that, Chris. Thanks for letting me know. That looks like more of like a late ad. So Vita Ayala is going to be there. Sadly, Dustin Nguyen canceled, but some great characters on there. Thanks for the heads up on Vita being there, Chris. So some great characters coming out, some great stuff coming out, some great books coming out. Again, if you guys are watching this in the back, definitely put down below what you guys are reading, what you guys are putting on there. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel. Appreciate that. That helps us out a lot. Ring the bell so you can get these live videos as I come on. If there's stuff you want me to chat about, stuff you want me to review, I'm going to do it. I'm trying to get out there. I'm going to do some more. I've been kind of off a little bit, have a lot of personal stuff going on, some health stuff, but it's coming around. Going to do back on it hard, guys. And then also make sure you're checking out Patreon if you show some support however you can. If not, just subscribe. That's awesome if you can do that. So we're hoping that kind of goes to that route, and we can do that. So we can push that out and kind of go from there. But mainly want to thank everybody for jumping on. Thank you guys a lot. Appreciate it. You guys are what makes this happen, what makes it happen. All the people that jumped on. Danny, Comics Girl, Ava, Discovery Bay Comics, Stacy's Weekly Comics book list, Moose, Danny, you guys rock, man. Can't thank you guys enough, and I want to thank everybody for jumping on. And thank you, appreciate it, and make sure you subscribe. Hit you later, and we'll see ya maybe next week. I might be back. Depends on how busy I'm going to be from Emerald City. So let's see. Thank you guys for jumping on. Let us know what you're reading in the comments below.